This episode is brought to you by Cnt'd. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
What is happening, y'all? How is everybody doing? Good to see you guys. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. What is good? What's happening, Dre? Good to see you. I've been good. Been busy. Hold up. My stand loosened up on me. There. Shaking too much. Every move I made. I want the whole damn live to be shaking. What is happening, Samurai? What is up? Hammer Samurai. Good to see you guys. I wish these comments would stop a little lower, y'all. Like they run through my whole face. Kind of weird. Massachusetts in the house. What is up? Hey, y'all, make sure you're tapping that like screen. I forgot my damn computer at home. Obviously, I'm back to my humble abode where I belong, you know. Yeah, make sure y'all hitting that like screen. Hit that like screen on TikTok, y'all. I know I haven't been live in a while, but how's everybody doing over there on YouTube? Have you guys been watching my my shorts lately? I've got some good ones going. They're popping. So yeah, so basically, more or less figured out that, you know, I didn't really want to move back home, so I went back to my spot, my property where I own, and I'm living back in my camper, which to me, that's what I like. So I need my privacy, man. I can't do it. Yeah, you like the shorts, bro? Cool. I appreciate that. So I posted a short yesterday, right? Or it was my last post from last night. After I had found that face on Antarctica, which the face on Antarctica, actually I saw in another post, but by looking and watching his post, although he had the latitude and longitude covered up, I was able to find it, right? And I was like, wow, you know, and I started looking around, and I saw all these different faces. Like, all these different faces, okay? I started seeing, like, I look at the face of the original face that I had found, that was very distinctive. That was very clear. Well, I started seeing trends of multiple faces that looked similar to that one, okay? Looked really similar to that one. So I'd see multiple slits, mouth slits, all over that area of mountains in Antarctica. Multiple faces, multiple statues, okay? I even found, and I wish YouTube would figure it out and figure out how I can figure it out so I can go green screen on my lives, because I would love to be able to show you guys all this stuff I'm talking about that I found. I even found, I kid you not, I'm switching stands with the TikTok stand here. It's just too shaky. And my YouTube goes and saves as a video for me. So I don't want my YouTube to be all shaking and shit. YouTube is more important. I hate to tell you. It just is. Okay. So I even found, I shit you not, I can show it on TikTok here. Nope, cancel. Let me show it on TikTok. So if you guys on my YouTube, check it out. So if I was you guys, I'd have me open on TikTok as well. If you have like 2 computers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I show a lot of pictures of stuff on TikTok in my background, which is nice. It's a nice feature. I wish that YouTube had it. They really need to check it out, because once they have that, it'd be awesome. I'll be pretty much even up with, like, I had to choose tonight because I forgot my computer at home, and I just got this tablet, right? I had to choose tonight whether I should do TikTok or Facebook. I always do YouTube, no matter what, because guess what? You know, they're my most important platform at the moment. But Facebook, it stinks, and I would like to go live on Instagram as well, because it stinks I forgot my computer, but I always like to have one source I can refer to. Like, you guys, the book of Cnt'd, I had never read or even like remotely referenced the lost book of Cnt'd, okay? When I say like wow, like friggin' wow, right? Crazy. What a cool ass story. Nevertheless, whether it's true, whether it's not, I have no idea. But I wonder if this will turn. No, it's going to make me rotate device. Yeah, it's going to make me stay in portrait. Sorry, guys. Just because these comments, bro. I hope they don't save like this. I hope my live don't save like this with these comments in my face like that. That's not. Live chat. Okay. This is live chat right here. See what happens in super chat. Some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. Top chat. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So, when I started reading the book of Cnt'd, you guys, holy shit. What an eye-opener. An amazing read so far. And you guys, like, sorry to kind of jump off Antarctica, but I just wanted to say that's kind of just a prelude of what I'm going to talk about tonight. The origins of Earth, the whole story, it covers, and it's kind of weird because you guys, it reads almost, it's a tough read. It's a tough read because the way it reads, their language is almost backwards to what ours is, meaning it sounds like Yoda, kind of, like seriously, it sounds like Yoda, like. So I'm just going to tell you guys, based on what I've seen in Antarctica, like, I don't know what it is, if I just have the vision or if I've just practiced a lot, but it seems like when I put these pictures in my background, most people have a hard time visualizing what I'm seeing. But I know, and once it clicks, people see it, but I know I am seeing what I'm seeing, okay? I am seeing what I'm seeing. I have seen so many things on Antarctica, and especially in that mountainous section on it'd be like the north side of it, okay? It actually changes color when you go over it, kind of. The things I have seen, like, no lie, you guys, it's nothing short of Star Wars. Some of the characters I've seen on Antarctica. The one I found last night was a true eye-opener. Alright? The one I found last night was a true eye-opener. I kid you not. If you guys can't see it, I posted it on my shorts over on YouTube. Because YouTube don't be, community guideline violating and all that crap. I didn't even post it on TikTok. Because it's if you can't see, if it's too much, it's too much. But when I say this, you guys, yesterday on Antarctica, I was searching around. I found an ET. I believe it to be a mater, which Maityer, mater. They are a taller form of gray alien, and they're said to be the parasite of the universe. That all other ET factions look at them as parasites. Okay, meaning they're just bad. Essentially, they're just bad, right? They're evil, inherently evil. They've worked with the reptoids over time, supposedly. What I read, like I say, everything is all my content's for entertainment purposes only. So whether you believe what I say or not is up to you. I'm just putting out there some interesting stuff that I find to be very fascinating. So think about it, judge it, listen to it, decipher for yourself. I'm just going to feed you the information. When I was looking on Antarctica last night, I kid you not, I found a gray alien, okay, in a seat of some sort. It looked to me like it was an ejection seat, like it was a seat that was in a craft. It was half covered in snow. I can even show you the joystick on the seat. A joystick in his hand, one of his fingers coming up near the joystick. And you can see his head as well. And I actually even took the liberty of changing and altering the picture, changing the shading, so that, because it is hard to identify. It looks like shadows on Antarctica, or it looks like shadows on Google Earth. I changed some of the imaging and altered it. I'm thinking it'll help you see it better. Okay? Now, maybe not. Who knows? But I can definitely show you the joystick. Okay? And at least that. But, yeah, no lie. And you guys, weirdest thing, I don't know if like it's off at all. But the size of him, I measured on the tool that they have on Google Earth. The size of him sitting down in that chair was 1,400 feet tall. After reading the book of Cnt'd a little bit, I haven't read it all. Beings in old Earth, in old day, and even the spawn of our galaxy or our universe, right, were huge. Were huge. When I started reading about Tiamat and how Earth came to be, the hero Nibiru, I want to say he came from primordial waters somewhere. I got to reread it. That was a hard part for me to grasp. I kind of missed where Nibiru came from. All these planets' names were beings of old. They were not necessarily just planets. They were beings of old. Okay? And when I read that and how Earth came to be and the battle with Nibiru and Tiamat and how he split her in half, she was a female. He split her in half, made half of her, they called it the hammer belt, which is the asteroid belt. And then the other half of her was Earth. And they called it, and they even said, Earth should be rich in gold because she had gold running through her veins. And why do you think they call it veins of gold? Okay? So, is the Earth round? I don't know, but it's weird to think that the planets could have once been organic beings, like living entities, all the planets, right? But a part of me kind of leans towards maybe in the galaxy early on there were massive beings in existence that went to war, and that's how Tiamat ended, became the asteroid belt. Other half came Earth, and she had gold running through her veins. It's just a really fascinating read. Should you take it literally? I don't know. I guess that's on you. I mean, I just try to ponder everything and say, well, how could it be real? Like, how could this story be factual? You know what I'm saying? What scenario per se would it be possibly real, right? So I don't know. That's just how I wrap my head around things. They don't write these texts for no reason. They're not just, they're stories and they're great. Supposedly folklore, mythological. I hate to say it, but no, they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just flat out. When you have multiple myths told the same throughout all the world in all kinds of different places, you get truth. In some way, shape, or form. I was reading about Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil, the tree that was so large it spanned the entire. Its roots spanned the entire earth. Okay, that was a very interesting read as well. That was supposedly, Yggdrasil means Odin's steed or something like that. Supposedly he had actually hung himself from that tree and all kinds of stuff. It was a very interesting read. Asgard was at the top, and then other planets. Then there was Midgard, and then there was at the bottom there was basically hell, kind of. But yeah, that was kind of cool as well. So I've been kind of dabbling, and I looked into Gog and Magog as well. That was insane. Did you guys know that Alexander the Great had a great part and a huge part in building the Great Wall of China? I never knew that. I didn't know that until recently. You know what I'm saying? Like within the last year. Alexander the Great had played a large role in building the Great Wall of China. And the iron gates that were supposed to keep out Gog and Magog. Now, who were Gog and Magog? And they supposedly had an army of horde, basically. And they were keeping them out. Somebody sent me a picture today, or not a picture, but a entry today, right? This Dutch explorer. And this is kind of in relation to the horde, and it makes me wonder if his horde could have been these beings. This Dutch explorer wrote of these giants of Brazil, okay? Giants of Brazil. That's cool on that 333. I just realized that, my guy. I appreciate that. These giants in Brazil that had no social etiquette. They had no love. They were complete savages. He said they would basically hunt and just wait for anything to eat. Animal, man, it didn't matter. It said they traveled solo. They couldn't even hunt together. They couldn't even gather to hunt in their community. It said they would... I always hesitate to say stuff on TikTok. It said they would get the embryos from their women. You know what I'm saying? This is how bad these giants, these man-eating giants were. Now, Gog and Magog, supposedly apocalypse bringers, and they're supposed to return. Could they have had a horde like this? And that's what the Great Wall of China was built for, to protect pretty much all of China from this great horde. Has anybody ever seen the movie? I don't even remember what it's called. It's with Matt Damon, and they're basically, Okay, all messages are visible. I want to see the messages. So if I have to deal with it in my face, I guess this is how it's got to be. Came across your channel, you really help give the notion that each myth has a grain of truth to it. It absolutely does. Yeah, the Great Wall. The Great Wall, what? Great Wall of China? Is that not right or something? So, all this myth, all this folklore, you guys, And then I was doing some research on Atlantis as well. I think Atlantis spanned a lot of Earth, but I do kind of agree after doing some research that Atlantis, there's a good chance it was the Eye of Africa. If you look it up, the Eye of Africa. Okay? And why I say that, in the book of Enki, okay, they talk about the Great Deluge, the last Great Deluge. And there was an older brother of the son of, I want to say he was the son of Anu. Okay? I'm not 100%. I got to do some more research and reading on it. I'm pretty fresh in it, but it's really, really interesting. And I'm actually going to start reading it. I'm just going to read it word for word, like verbatim for you guys in a second, because it's really interesting. But they talk of this older brother who was angry with his stance or his stature on earth, who wanted to more or less take it over. Okay? Well, they debate, and Enki and Enlil. See, now people always say one of them is God and one of them is Satan. Based on the book of Enki, they were both inherently good. I haven't gotten to the end of it yet, but based on the book of Enki, they were both inherently good. Neither one of them wanted to bring the Great Deluge. Okay? But basically they got approved, these two other brothers who wanted to take out Marduk got approved of using the what'd they call them? Basically the great weapons. The weapons of destruction, they called them, I'm pretty sure. The great weapons of destruction. And they go off and say, well, are we just going to repeat the past? And they're talking about Nibiru. In Nibiru, once upon a time, these great weapons of destruction were used there, and they wrecked the planet. Okay? Well, they get approved to use these weapons, and they are shown by, I want to say it was Enlil, where they are. So they get this great weapon, and they fire it on Earth. And it specifically said it turns all into more or less dust, into fines. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing left. Well, take a look at Africa, the northernmost part of Africa on Google Earth. And you could see it. It starts in Africa on the Atlantic coast, and it runs all the way through Africa, all the way through the Middle East, and almost to Asia. Okay? And what's interesting is there's a part where one of Enlil's sons, okay? Oh, shit. There's a part that one of Enlil's sons, and this is really intriguing, you guys. It made me think. There's a portion of it where he says, oh, Father, great one, blah, blah, blah. He worships his dad, like calling him the great creator and all this stuff. He says, Can you spare my people of the great deluge? Can you spare them? Can you save them? And he eventually, Enlil says, son, you should escape, get out of here, just like you and I and your mother are, more or less. And the son says, no, my people are inherently good. I don't want them to die. And Enlil grants him this wish. Enlil says, yes, I will save and spare your people. Now, there's portions of the earth where it's all greenery. Like America has a little spot where it could have been like possibly a nuke used. But and Europe is pretty much all green. Look at China. And look at the population of China. Were they spared from the Great Deluge? Or were they spared from the Great Flood? It says in the book of Enki that somebody was spared. A portion of people. Well, I've always wondered why their population is so much higher. I've always said they're possibly older as a being, as a species. Could they not have been the ones spared? I don't know. Hard to say, you know what I mean? For sure, obviously, but these are just theories, you guys. I'm just spitballing theories, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's fact, so don't, I get a lot of hate, man, for what I say. Like, people spreading lies and all this stuff, which that's okay. That's your opinion. I don't clap back or nothing, but I just want you guys to know that obviously, what I say here, I do not say is absolute fact, because nobody knows. That's when people say it's not fact. How do you know? You don't. Nobody knows. I have just as good a chance of being right as most likely you do. Really. So, yeah, just, I don't, like to overly present my stuff as fact. But yeah, so going back to Atlantis. So look at the northern part of Africa, right? It's all desert. It's all desert. And what's there? Supposedly Atlantis, the eye of Africa. It's 3 rings, and it talks of, in the description, there's I forget who described it. One of the older philosophers described it. I forget who described it, but he described it as such, having 3 floating rings in the sea, in the open. You know what I'm saying? So the description fits. The description fits very well, and the lay of the land with all of the pure desert sand, like as if a nuke went off. Okay. Not only that, you guys, this is kind of a touchy one. This is a touchy subject a little bit. But if you go look at China, if you go look at Africa, right? In history, it is said that the Atlanteans, Plato, thank you. I kept wanting to say Pontius Pilate, but he was the one that ordered the crucifixion of Jesus. Plato, thank you guys. You guys are always there to help. I appreciate you. So yeah, Plato wrote about Atlantis. But I read that in the early days, when the Atlanteans went evil, when the Atlanteans turned into wanting to be enslavers of man, all this stuff, okay, and went to war with the good faction of Lemurians, etc. It talked of the Atlanteans getting manipulated by these higher beings, these evil beings, these evil entities. Thank you guys. So these evil beings, yeah, any donations you guys over here on YouTube, much love, man. Much love. I appreciate you. And same with TikTok. I started out with 300, but when you start talking about myths being real, people ski real quick. They're out. I don't care. You want to stay asleep, that's on you. So I read that the Atlanteans, they started working with evil alien factions. Okay? And they figured out how to open a Stargate for these said evil alien factions. Okay? When they opened this Stargate, basically, so I'm going to tell you right now. Basically, these evil alien factions like the Maters, the Reptilians, etc. Okay? When they convince people, like even today, how it's said that the certain things are corrupt and they're infiltrated, right? Devil worshipping, selling soul type stuff, okay? What these people don't realize is whenever an evil faction is trying to get you to do their bidding, they're promising you all of this stuff, all of these riches, all this fame and fortune, right? They have a goal here that precedes anything and any one of mankind, even the ones they get to do their bidding. There's an end game, and they aren't involved. They don't realize they're being tricked. They're being tricked, and they're going to get duped at the end. They're not going to live this great life that they are promised. They're not going to be kings in hell or whatever. They're not. They're going to be tortured, and they're going to be, you know, I mean, they won't even be in existence. There's an agenda, and you're not a part of it. That's what they don't realize. So when the Atlanteans were duped into opening the Stargate for the reptilians, they sent meteors through the Stargate. Okay? And these meteors contained a substance. They call it Vril. Vril. If you want to look it up further than that, go ahead. But it's touchy to talk about. But they sent this, and it was on these meteors. And basically, Vril is produced by the planet that it is on. Vril is produced, and it's a substance that it's organic, it is living, okay? And it adheres and it forms to what is around it. If it's inherently good around it, it'll be good. If it's opposite, it'll be the opposite, evil. Earth produces inherently good Vril. It becomes one with man, opens the heart, puts empathy out there, love and light. Other planets born of evil produce this evil Vril. Only has 3 attributes: sexual, human, and mind. Instead of all 7 chakras. Okay? Service of others. Exactly. Help thy neighbor. That's Earth's primordial goo. Alright? Well, when they opened that Stargate and they sent all that goo into Africa, and because that's the central place where the Atlanteans resided, who were what? Already flowing to the dark. So they sent this goo. And if you guys go look, take a look on Google Earth. Look at how black the landscape is in Africa. Look at how black it is. It is black in a lot of places. That's where they hit hardest, all those meteors. And that's why I still think Africa has a lot of troubles to this day. It's contaminated. Just a thought. Just a thought. But yeah, if you go look, so that's why I also, like as I was researching, got to be one with Mother Nature, creator of all. You know what I'm saying? That's facts. That's facts. And I'm telling you guys, it's wild stuff that I've been learning here since I've gotten going. A lot of the stuff that I've read comes from you. Woo! Marshall C. Damn, boy. Appreciate you. 50 Rock. Let's go. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for that. For real, dog. That means a lot. Thank you so much for that. So, awesome. So yeah, look at Africa on Google Earth, you guys. Look at Africa and check it out. It's got black. It looks like, some of it even looks almost reflective. Okay? So, another point in history where this substance had an effect. After, it was the beginning of World War II. So after World War I, beginning of World War II. A German soldier was exploring some underground caves of some sort, right? So he's exploring these underground caves, and he comes to the end of a cave, and he finds these stones, like which he'd never seen before. They were shiny, beautiful, kind of almost glistening. So they just stood out. So he gathers up the stones, and he brings them back to his leader in command, and they're kind of observing it, and basically they figure out that they are of meteorite, or they're not of Earth. They're most likely of meteorite origin. Okay? Well, unusually, these stones were pitch black. Pitch black. Okay? Well, they did studies on them and all this stuff, and they started seeing things, and yeah. It became a part of that at that point contaminated the German army and the German higher officials, like our guy, right? The number one most popular, yeah. They had gotten contaminated with evil black goo. That's why. What did they have in WW2? Absolute lack of empathy, right? Some of the stuff they were doing, they had zero empathy. Kind of weird coincidences. Okay? So, yeah, crazy stuff. You guys, like, I'm sitting here and, like, I'm figuring out, to me, what is the history of everything that is here. Why we are here. The more I find out, the luckier I realize we are right now to get a free-for-all, free go on this planet. I don't think we quite understand the peace that we have, that we could. How lucky we are to be here and not be, and how lucky we are to be here to fight amongst ourselves when there are much more fierce and greater adversaries that we could have out there. Our little run here, it isn't going to continue forever. All right? One of these days, our protection, our little bubble, it's going to burst. And it's going to be a free-for-all on who gets Earth first. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping. Thank you, No One Special. I really appreciate that. He said, by far best channel I've found in a long time. Love it. I'm hoping, though, that there's enough good beings on this planet. There's enough good beings here. Okay? That they save us as a species. Okay? So, if you guys watch, go back. If you guys haven't, go to my YouTube and watch my last video. Or my last full video. I have a playlist on the bottom of my YouTube. Full videos here. What those are my full videos. I love it. 212 in YouTube. Let's go. Or on YouTube. Thank you. I love it. Love it. I didn't think I'd get to that at all. Go to my page. Okay? Sometimes I gotta watch it. I talk about so many different things, you guys, that when I take pauses, I'm always talking about so many different things that sometimes it's hard to keep straight what my last topic of convo was. Okay? But go to my YouTube, you guys, and watch my last video. It's Russia's Alien Book of Secrets Part 4. Okay? That was one of the most eye-opening books, and I really thank the guy who hooked it up with that book, that source, that PDF. Shack on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook today. I think he called himself Shack with a Q, right? Shaq, both of them, like Shaq the baller, right? That was one of the most eye-opening reads I've, in all of my studying and all of my content creating, without a doubt, with one of the most eye-opening reads I've ever read. Now, on that video and the last one I did, I read what was called in the book the Alien Dixit, Dixit. Basically, it was the Mater's word to humanity. And I went through and I read it word for word. Anybody that reads that, it should touch. And it should make them want change and want to change. Not only am I trying to, I don't know, I'm not trying to say I'm like I'm not trying to be like, this like, I don't know, I don't want to call it like truth spreader, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know for sure if it's truth, so I don't like calling it truth, okay? Yes, read it. I left you guys the source for that. I know a lot of people were messaging me, you know, well, what the heck, why haven't you done Alien Book of Secrets the next episode? I want the source to that, I want the source. So I shared it in my description and on the video at the end. But what they say about humanity, it should be really awakening. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, if I'm talking to all these people and I am getting out there, right? And my reach has increased lately because of Facebook. Like, I'm starting to have friends of friends like call me up and be like, hey bro, blah blah, this group of people was talking, and they like, it's like almost, it's really cool because I'm hearing about groups, right? I'm hearing about groups of people who are bonding and coming together over my content. It's truly a beautiful thing, right? That they're actually like crews at work, crews at a job, you know. One of them was some roofers. They were a work crew, and they all watched my stuff. Crews at another factory right in town, right here where I'm living. Crew, a whole factory's vibing and loving my content, talking about it. Like, wild stuff, right? Cool stuff. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to also send a message to people. Like, I think we take for granted we take for granted our history, our ancestry. We take for granted not God, not necessarily, well, we do God, right? What we believe is God. We take for granted our creators and our what we should be doing and how we should be living if we want to become a part of something much, much more beautiful and greater. You know what I'm saying? And all that is, it's simple. It's so simple, bro. Yes, I am on Telegram. It's so simple. You guys, we got to stop thinking evil, negative thoughts. No matter what you do, try not to do that. No matter how people are treating you, or how someone is acting towards you, what they're saying about you, stop worrying about it. Let me tell you this. Somebody told me this, and it was one of the greatest things I had ever been told by somebody, a close friend. She said, what other people think of you is none of your business. Best thing I've ever heard. What other people think of you is none of your business. So, it's like I said, it's simple. Even if you don't believe in God, and that's okay if you don't, that's on you, or an ultimate creator, or anything after this life. Even if you don't believe in that, there is something to be said about having inherent goodness in your heart. Treating others with inherent goodness. You know what somebody told me the other day? If we taught every child to meditate, there would be world peace within, like, I want to say 100 years. Something like that. If we taught every child to meditate, there would be world peace within 100 years. That's wild to me. I never heard that. So, find it in yourself, no matter what the situation, no matter who or what is doing what. It don't matter. Just try to be good. When you want to get vengeance, don't. When you want 100 days, 100 days, she said. 100 days. What? Okay. 100 days. Wild. So let me recant that. If you taught every child in the world to meditate, there would be world peace within 100 days. I was way off. But that's crazy, right? That's crazy. So, I guess ultimately, I love to share these cool stories, and I love to share the history of what we got going on here. But, there's also a greater cause to what I'm doing, guys. 5% of the entire population, if we get them on that page, then 5D, consciousness, inherent goodness will just like a wave over the planet. So, think about it. But yeah, go back and check that video and read that Alien Dixit, what they say to us, and read all the way through it. It's really intriguing. It's a great read. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying. So, I wish I had the green screen on here, guys, on YouTube, because I would love to show you guys the stuff. I don't know how I'm going to do it, or if I'm going to waste my time doing it, because, you know, I guess I could have showed you on this, but maybe next live. But just go check my shorts. But I wanted you guys to see the one where I altered some stuff. But I'm gonna skip that for now. I'm gonna I think what I want to do is go to the book of Enki and kind of read it, and then talk about it as we're reading it. Stuff like that. So, yeah, the Mandela Effect. I've done videos on it. I got minute-long videos on the Mandela Effect. Thank you, Casey Young. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Enki and Enlil. Enkidu. Cool. Like you guys are chatting. I love that. It seems like for some reason, maybe it's just because I have more people, but there's a lot of chatting going on YouTube today. So guys, on TikTok, hop over to my YouTube, check it out. Check my lives out there. Subscribe. Like my videos, all that stuff. Share them. From Central Florida, awesome. Yup. I'm gonna read the book of Gilgamesh too. I want to read the Epic of Gilgamesh too one of these days. I've read it. It's one of those reads that you want to read twice, take notes. But no, the book of Enki. Here we go, guys. This book is so awesome, dude. It's written by Zecharia Sitchin, and it's supposedly off the ancient Sumerian tablets. Okay. The Lost Book of Enki. It's one of the works they thought was lost, but it was not. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of lost books throughout history. So, the words of Lord Enki, synopsis of the first tablet. I'm just going to kind of be reading it off my tablet. So, lamentation over the desolation of Sumer. So, don't keep... How the gods fled their cities as the nuclear cloud spread. The debates in the council of the gods, the fateful decision to unleash weapons of terror. That's what it's called. That's what they called them, weapons of terror. The origin of the gods and the awesome weapons of Nibiru. Nibiru's north-south wars, unifications, and dynastic rules. Nibiru's place in the solar system. A dwindling atmosphere causes climate changes. Efforts to obtain gold to shield the atmospheres fail. Alalu, a usurper, uses nuclear weapons to stir volcanic gases. Anu, A dynastic heir deposes Alalu. Alalu steals a spacecraft and escapes from Nibiru. Like, awesome stuff. Dude, you guys, this should be like a movie, no question. So, the first tablet. The words of the Lord Enki, firstborn son of Anu, who reigns on Nibiru. And this is why people have said, thank you, Pied Piper. Thank you so much. Any donations, you guys help immensely. So you guys are awesome. Thank you. So, the firstborn son of Anu who reigns on Nibiru. This where people say, oh, Enlil's the devil, or Enlil's the evil one, and Enki's the god. Enki's God. Enki's inherently good, and then vice versa. Here, to me, Enki is inherently good. Also, right? I've heard more that Enlil is God. But with heavy spirit, this is Enki. With heavy spirit I utter laments. Laments that are bitter fill my heart. How smitten in the land. And really, you guys got to really listen and decipher. The way it is written is very Yoda-esque, okay? How smitten in the land. Its people delivered to the evil wind. Its stables abandoned, its sheepfolds emptied. How smitten are the cities, their people piled up as dead corpses, afflicted by the evil wind. How smitten are the fields, their vegetation withered, touched by the evil wind. How smitten are the rivers. Nothing swims anymore. Pure sparkling waters, thank you, chariots of gold, turned to poison. Of its black-headed people, Sumer is emptied, gone is all life. Of its cattle and sheep, Sumer is emptied, silent in the hum of churning milk. In its glorious cities, only the wind howls. Death is the only smell. Appreciate that, holy beloved. Thank you. On the banks of lordship and kingship, command there is none. Scepter and tiara are gone. On the banks of the two great rivers, once lush and life-giving, only weeds grow. No one treads the highways, which is crazy. They talk about highways way back then. Highways, y'all. I know you guys have seen some of my videos, or my video talking of the canals on the bottom of the ocean floor. Well, some of those, after reading this, it's possible, and at first this is what I thought they were, is roadways. So I'm thinking some of those were roadways. No one seeks out the roads. Flourishing Sumer is like an abandoned desert. How smitten is the land, home of gods and men. On that land a calamity fell, one unknown to man. A calamity that mankind had never before seen, one that could not be withstood. On all the lands from west to east, a disruptive hand of terror was placed. The gods in their cities were helpless as men. An evil wind, a storm born in a distant plain, a great calamity wrought in its path. A death-dealing wind, born in the west, its way to the east has made, its course set by fate. A storm devouring as the deluge, by wind and not by water, a destroyer, by poisoned air, not tidal waves, overwhelming. By fate, not destiny, was it engendered. The great gods in their council, the great calamity had caused. By Enlil and by Niharsag, it was permitted. So by Enlil and by, it's spelled like this, Ninharsig. Ninharsig. Ninharsag. Ninharsig. Some of the words, you guys, or the names, are really, so bear with me on that. I think I did pretty good on that one, Ninharsig. It was permitted. So Enlil and Ninharsig permitted the weapons of terror to be used on earth. I alone for a halt was beseeching. Meaning, Enki, I alone for a halt was beseeching. I tried to stop it. I voted against it. All right? Day and night to accept what the heavens decree, I argued, to no avail. Ninurta, Enlil's warrior son, and Nargal, my very own son, Enki's son. Ninurta, Enlil's warrior son, and Nargal, Enki's only son, or my very own son, Enki's only son. Poisoned weapons in the great plain, then unleashed. Now, what did I just say? Look at Africa. Poisoned weapons in the great plains unleashed. No question. That's where it originated. That's where they hit. That was their first choice of the weapons of terror, if you will. The Great Plains. Well, yeah, the desert was once probably a lush Great Plain with life, and it was flourishing. This is all speculation, guys. I'm not trying to, say it's absolute. Nothing's absolute. Except for the absolute. Ninurta, Enlil's warrior son, and Nargal, my very own son, poisoned weapons in the great plain, then unleashed. That an evil wind shall follow the brilliance we knew not. They now cry in agony. Meaning, they didn't realize the after effects it would have. This great poisoned wind. Okay? That an evil wind shall follow the brilliance. Now the brilliance, what's the brilliance? The explosion itself. The weapon itself was the brilliance. That was the beautiful explosion or whatever, like they would probably say brilliance because why? Well, they were a warring faction and a weapon would be brilliant. The greater it was, right? That the death-dealing storm born in the west, its course to the east shall make. Who could have foretold? The gods now bemoan. So all the gods that did this are regretting it instantly. In their holy cities, the gods stood disbelieving as the evil wind toward Sumer made its way. One after another, the gods fled their cities, their temples abandoned in the wind. In my city, Eridu, as the poison cloud approached, I could do nothing to stop it. Escape to the open steppe. To the people I gave instructions. With Ninki, my spouse, the city I abandoned. So he abandoned Eridu. In his city, Nippur, place of the bond, heaven and earth, Enlil could do nothing to stop it. The evil wind against Nippur was onrushing. In his celestial boat, Enlil and his spouse hurried and took off. In Ur, Sumer's city of kingship, Nanar to his father Enlil cried for help. This is the part I was talking about earlier. In the place of the temple that to heaven in 7 steps rises, Nanar, the hand of fate, refused to heed. My father who begot me, great God who to Ur had granted kingship, turn the evil wind away. Nanar pleaded. Great God who decrees the fates, let Ur and its people be spared. Your praises to continue, Nanar appealed. Enlil answered his son Nanar, noble son, your wondrous city kingship was granted. Eternal reign, it was not granted. Take hold of your spouse Ningai, flee the city, even I who decrees fates, its destiny I cannot bend. Thus did Enlil my brother speak. Alas, alas, not a destiny it was. A calamity none greater since the deluge gods and earthlings has befallen. Alas, not a destiny it was. The great deluge was destined to happen. The great calamity of the death-dealing storm was not. By the breach of a vow, by a council decision, it was caused. By weapons of terror was it created. By a decision not destiny were the poisoned weapons unleashed. By deliberation was the lot cast. Against Marduk, my firstborn. Hold on. Okay, so that's actually Enlil's firstborn. Against Marduk, my firstborn, did the 2 sons destruction direct. Vengeance was in their hearts. Ascendancy is not Marduk's to grasp. Enlil ascendancy. Hear that? Ascendancy. Ascending to the higher realms. Ultimately, as beings in this world, this galaxy, or as beings in this universe, And I think we're missing this as mankind. The ultimate goal is ascendancy in the spirit world, spirit realm, in the energy realm, to become a higher energy being, a all-knowing, a loving energy being, to ascend the levels. That's proof right there. Ascendancy is not Marduk's to grasp. Enlil's firstborn son shouted. Or Enlil's firstborn shouted. Oh, sorry. Let me rewind. Enki's firstborn son was Marduk, not Enlil's. I apologize for that. I misread it. Enki against Marduk, my firstborn, Enki's. I read that wrong, so I apologize. Did the two sons destruction direct, vengeance in their hearts. Ascendancy is not Marduk's to grasp. Enlil's firstborn son shouted. Okay? With weapons I shall oppose him, Ninurta said. Of people he raised an army, Babilai as earth's navel to declare. Nargal, Marduk's brother, so shouted. In the council of the great gods, words of venom were spread. Day and night I raised my opposing voice. Peace I counseled, deploring haste. For the second time the people have raised in his heavenly image. Why does opposing continue? I asked in pleading. Have all the instruments been checked? Did not the era of Marduk in the heavens arrive? I once more inquired. Ningishida, my very son, other signs of heaven sighted. His heart I knew. Marduk's injustice to him could not forgive. Nanar to Enlil on earthborn, Nanar to Enlil on earthborn was unrelenting too. Marduk, my temple in the north city, his own abode he made. So basically, what it's saying is, Enlil's earthborn son, Enki's firstborn Marduk, took his temple, my temple in the north city, his own abode he made. So, Marduk, Enki's firstborn, took over and stole Nanar, Enlil's earthborn city temple, and made it his abode. So he had vengeance in his heart. He was angry. Okay? Ishkir, Enlil's youngest, punishment he demanded. In my lands to whore after him the people he made, he said. So his people that he made are now in his lands. And they're actually bad. They're like sinners. Utu, son of Nanar, at Marduk's son Nabu, his wrath directed. The place of the celestial chariots he tried to seize. The place of the celestial chariots he tried to seize. Marduk. Meaning he tried to steal their celestial chariots, meaning space-born or space-traveling chariots. Marduk tried to seize a place where all their space-traveling equipment or flying equipment was, which they call them chariots, which is cool, celestial chariots. Pretty interesting stuff. So he tried to steal those as well. Utu, son of Nanar, and Marduk's son Nabu, his wrath directed. The place of celestial chariots he tried to seize. Inanna, twin of Utu, was furious of all. The punishment of Marduk for killing of her beloved Dumuzi she still demanded. Ninharsag, mother of gods and men, her gaze diverted. Why is Marduk not here? She only said. Gibil, my own son, with gloom replied, Marduk has all entries put aside. By the signs of heaven, his supremacy he claims. Which, this is interesting. I'm trying to figure out who Marduk is. Like, so far to me, he's sounding like Lucifer. But I'm not sure. There's a lot more to read, to decipher. Only with weapons will Marduk be stopped. Ninurta, Enlil's firstborn son, shouted. Utu about protecting the place of celestial chariots was concerned. In Marduk's hands it must not fall. So he said. Nergai, lord of the lower domain, ferociously was demanding, let the old weapons of terror for obliteration be used. At my own son I gazed in disbelief. That was his son. For brother against brother, the terror weapons have been forsworn. Instead of consent, there was silence. In the silence, Enlil opened his mouth. Punishment there must be, like birds without wings, the evildoers shall be. Marduk and Nabu, us of heritage are depriving. Marduk and Nabu, us of heritage are depriving. Let them of the place of the celestial chariots be deprived. Let the place be scorched to oblivion, Ninurta shouted. The one who scorches, let me be. See how they say it? And it's kind of like, it sounds like Yoda. Let the place be scorched to oblivion, Ninurta shouted. The one who scorches it, let me be. Excited, Nergai stood up and shouted, let the evildoers' cities also be upheaved. The sinning cities let me obliterate. Let the annihilator be my name thereafter. Or my name thereafter be. The earthlings, by us created, must not be harmed. The righteous with the sinners must not be perished. I forcefully said. That was Enki. Ninharsag, my creating helpmate, was consenting. The matter is between the gods, alone to settle. The people must not be harmed. Okay, did you hear what he just said? Ninharsag, my creating helpmate, was consenting. The matter is between the gods alone to settle. The people must not be harmed. Enki just admitted to creating mankind. Right there. Ninharsag, my creating helpmate, was consenting. So, Enki just admitted to creating mankind. Pretty interesting. Anu from the celestial abode to the discussions was giving much heed. Anu, who determines fates, from his celestial abode, his voice made heard. So Anu wasn't at the, physically at the council meeting. I know it does sound like Cain and Abel. You're absolutely right. Interesting, huh? Interesting. So Anu, it's saying his celestial abode, from his celestial abode, his voice made heard, meaning that Anu was communicating from Nibiru, which I thought, it's kind of a neat detail. Let the weapons of terror be this once used. Let the place of the rocket ships be obliterated. Let the people be spared. Let Ninurta the Scorcher be. Let Nergal be the Annihilator. So did Enlil the decision announce. So to me, Enlil was a fate giver. So to me, it seems as if Enlil was in fact the prime or supreme leader of Earth. Okay, that's kind of what I'm gathering from this. Enlil was the supreme leader. Nergal, as he went by me, his gaze averted. So, Enki's son Nergal, when he walked by him, his gaze averted, because he was ashamed that his son wanted to do this. Alas, I cried out without words, brother has turned against brother. Are the prior times fated to repeat? What's he saying there? What's Enki saying there? Alas, I cried without words, brother has turned against brother. Are the prior times fated to repeat? He's talking about Nibiru. Brother against brother. Weapons of terror. That was Nibiru's demise. Right? Appreciate that, David Lambert. Oh, shit. My bad. People. It's one thing I'll say. Right? Garden of Eden, for sure. A secret from the olden times to them Enlil was revealing. The weapons of terror to their hands entrusting. Clad with terror, with a brilliance they are unleashed. All they touch, to a dust heap they turn. All they touch, to a dust heap they turn. For brother against brother on earth, they were forsworn, neither region to affect. Now the oath was undone, like a broken jar in useless pieces. The two sons, full of glee, with quickened step from Enlil's chambers they emerged, for the weapons departing. So Enlil told them where the weapons of terror are, and they were going to get them. Alright? Like, they acted like little kids, full of glee. The other gods turned back to their cities. None of his own calamity had a foreboding. Now this is the account of the prior times and the weapons of terror. So, from there, they kind of do like a prequel chapter of what happened before all this happened with Earth and everything like that. So, this is kind of, they call it prior times. Old times, they kind of explain it. Like the beginning was the beginning of Earth. Prior times was before, or what happened at Nibiru. In old times were maybe like planet Tiamat and all that stuff, I think. So before the prior times, so before the prior times was the beginning. There you go. They explain it. Sorry, I should explain it in the next sentence, silly me. Before the prior times was the beginning. After the prior times were the olden times. In the olden times, the gods came to earth and created earthlings. In the prior times, none of the gods was on earth, nor were earthlings yet fashioned. In prior times, the abode of the gods was on their own planet. Nibiru is its name. A great planet, reddish in radiance, around the sun, an elongated circuit Nibiru makes. For a time in the cold is Nibiru engulfed. The part of its circuit by the sun strongly is it heated. A thick atmosphere on Nibiru envelopes. By volcanic eruptions it's constantly fed. All manner of life this atmosphere sustains. Without it there will be only perishing. In the cold period, the inner heat. So basically, if you guys haven't seen it, Nibiru's orbit is really elongated, and it supposedly only passes every 3,600 years. That's arguable, though. They say up to 4,000. So, when it's away from the sun, it's really cold. But it's saying here, in the cold period, inner heat of Nibiru, it keeps about the planet, like a warm coat that is constantly renewed. In the hot period, it shields Nibiru from the sun's scorching rays. In its midst, rains it holds and releases to lakes and streams giving rise. Lush vegetation our atmosphere feeds and protects. All manner of life in the waters and on the land to sprout it caused. After eons of time, our own species sprouted, by our own essence, an eternal seed to procreate. As our numbers grew, to many regions of Nibiru our ancestors spread. Some tilled the land, some four-legged creatures shepherded. Some lived in the mountains, some in the valleys their homes they made. Rivalries occurred, encroachments happened. Clashes occurred, sticks became weapons. Clans gathered into tribes, then two great nations each other faced. The nation of... Now listen to this. The nation of the north against the nation of the south took up arms. Game of Thrones. What was held by hand to thrusting missiles was turned. Weapons of thunder and brilliance increased the terror. A war, long and fierce, engulfed the planet. Brother amassed against brother. There was death and destruction from both the north and south. For many circuits, desolation reigned in the land. All life was diminished. Then a truce was declared. Then peacemaking conducted. Let the nations be united, the emissaries said to one another. Let there be one throne on Nibiru, one king to reign over all. Let a leader from the north or from the south by lot be chosen, one supreme king to be. If he be from the north, let the south choose a female to be his spouse, as equal queen to reign alongside. Let the north female be his spouse. Husband and wife let them be, as one flesh to become. Let their firstborn son be the successor. Let a unified dynasty thus be formed, unity on Nibiru forever to establish. In the midst of the ruins, peace was started. North and south by marriage were united. The royal throne into one flesh combined. An unbroken line of kingship was established. The first king after peace was made, a warrior of the north he was, a mighty commander. By lots true and fair was he chosen. His decrees in unity were accepted. For his abode he built a splendid city. Agade, unity meaning, was its name. For his reign a royal title he was granted. An it was. An was the firstborn of the united faction. The celestial one was its meaning. With strong arm order in the lands he reestablished. Laws and regulations he decreed. Governors for each land he appointed. Restoration and reclamation was their foremost task. Of him in the royal annals, thus it was recorded. And the lands unified. Peace on Nibiru he restored. He built a new city. The canals he repaired. Food to the people he provided. There was abundance in the land. For his spouse, the south, a maiden was chosen. For both love and warring she was noted. An too was her royal title. The leader who is An's spouse, the given name cleverly did mean. She bore An 3 sons and no daughters. The firstborn son was by her named Anki. By An a solid foundation was its meaning. Alone on the throne he was seated, a spouse to choose who twice postponed. So Anki, this is Anki. Alone on the throne he was seated, a spouse to choose was twice postponed. In his reign, concubines were brought into the palace. A son to him was not born. So, concubines. Basically, concubines were brought to the throne. And they talk about this, you guys. Concubines were basically like randoms. Kind of without putting it any worse. Like randoms. Yeah, lots of girlfriends. Thank you, holy beloved. We'll see you later. So basically, the firstborn son of Anki, got the throne, but he cannot seem to have a child. In his reign, concubines were brought into the palace. A son to him was not born. The dynasty thus begun was by the death of Anki disrupted. On the foundation, no offspring followed. The middle son, though not the firstborn, the legal heir was pronounced. From his youth, one of 3 brothers, Ib, by his mother was lovingly called. The one in the middle, his name did mean. Pretty simple. By the royal annals, on Ib he is named. In kingship, celestial by generations. The one who is An's son, the name signified. He followed his father on Nibiru's throne. By count, he was the 3rd to reign. The daughter of his younger brother, so this, bear with me guys on this, okay? It's funny because the other day, I was over at a buddy's house, right? And he breeds dogs. He breeds these bulldogs. And he said they call it, what did he call it? It's basically, so basically this is how it works. if it's kind of the same concept here is why I'm using this example. Purebred breeders, okay? They have a tactic they use to keep the bloodlines pure. So they'll take a mother and a father, purebred, and they'll have children. Shadow breeding. Yes, shadow breeding. Thank you. So shadow breeding, that's what it's called, shadow breeding. Shadow breeding. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so shadow breeding. I know that was easy to should remember that. But anyway, where they have the mother and father, and they have a litter of puppies. Okay. Now, if the mother has a litter and has boys, female dogs, and male dogs, the mother can't breed with the son. They won't come out right. But the father can breed with the daughter, and it will come out normal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of purebreds are kind of, there's a reason for that. But yeah, so this is kind of like the same concept, but just a little further down the line. So, okay, hold on. Okay, his spouse. A son. Okay, hold on. So, the Lady of Ib. A son to Anib by Cnt'd was born. The successor on the throne he was, the fourth by the count of kings. By the royal name Anshar Gal he wished himself to be known. An's prince, who is the greatest of princes, meaning. The greatest, his spouse. Okay, so it's his spouse, a half sister, Kishegal, was equally named. Okay, it's always like half, meaning a lot of times I think it's the same mother, if I'm correct, or same. Yeah, I don't know. Same one, all right? I don't know exactly which one. Maybe same father, but different mother. That would make more sense. The same mother would be, you would think, closer, right? Same father, less so, because of the womb thing. Okay, so yeah, that's how they kept the bloodlines pure, and so that's crazy to me to think about that these ancient higher beings were doing this. It's been known to be done throughout Europe, as you know, to keep the bloodlines pure. You know what I mean? Interesting to say the least. Okay, that the Anunnaki basically were also inbred. I mean, right? I don't know what else to say, but they're inbred. Yeah. So his spouse, half sister Kishegal, was equally named. Knowledge and understanding were his chief ambition. The ways of the heavens he assiduously studied. The great circuit of Nibiru he studied. Its length a shar to be he fixed. As 1 year of Nibiru was the measure, by it the royal reigns to be numbered and recorded. The shar to 10 portions he divided. 2 festivals thereby he pronounced. When nearest to the sun's quarters, a festival of warmth was celebrated. When to its far abode Nibiru was distanced, the festival of coolness was decreed. Replacing all olden festivals of tribes and nations, to unify the people, the 2 were established. Laws of husband and wife, of sons and daughters, by decree he established. Customs from the first tribes he proclaimed for the whole land. From the wars, females greatly outnumbered the males. Decrees he made. 1 male to have more than 1 female for knowing. By law, 1 wife as official spouse to be chosen. First wife to be called. By law, the firstborn son was his father's successor. So basically, he wrote in the law that a man can have multiple wives. Not 1 wife, multiple knowings. because there was way more females than males due to the war. So by law, the firstborn son was his father's successor. By these laws, confusion soon came about. If the firstborn son was not by the firstborn, or the first wife was born, so basically, by the laws, confusion soon came about. Who would be the heir? The son of the first wife, or their firstborn, or if he had his concubines and he had a son by them, would he be the firstborn? And thereafter by the wife a son was born. By law the legal heir becoming. Who shall be the successor? The one by the count of Shar's firstborn, or the one by the wife's firstborn? The firstborn son, the legal heir, who shall inherit, who shall succeed. In the reign of Anshargal, Kishargal, as his first wife was pronounced, a half-sister of the king she was. In Anshargal's reign, concubines were again brought into the palace. By the concubines, sons and daughters to the king were born. A son by one was the first to be born. The son of a concubine was the firstborn. Thereafter King Kishargal bore a son. The legal heir by law he was, the firstborn he was not. In the palace, Kishargal raised her voice in anger, shouting, "If by rules my son, by a wife or a first wife born, from succession shall be barred. Let the double seed not be neglected. Though of different mothers, of one father the king and I are offspring. I am the king's half-sister. Of me the king is half-brother. By that my son the double seed of our father Anib possesses. Let henceforth the law of the seed, the law of espousal overpower. Let henceforth a son by a half-sister, whenever born above all other sons, rise to succession." So the inbred gets the, no, I'm just kidding. So the pureblood gets the throne. Like when their firstborn couldn't have a child, that makes you wonder if it was, because of inbreeding, right? Let henceforth a half-sister, whenever born, above all other sons, rise to succession. Anshargal, contemplating the law of the seed, he embraced with favor. Confusion of spouse and concubines, of marriage and divorce, it would be avoided. In their council, the royal counselors, the law of the seeds for succession they adopted. By the king's order, the scribes, the decree recorded. Thus, the next king by the law of the seed for succession was proclaimed. To him the royal name Anshar was granted. Fifth on the throne he was. Now this is the account of the reign of Anshar and the kings two who follow. Now this is where it starts to go south. Anshar does not do a good job. When the law was changed, the other princes were contending. Words there were, rebellion there was not. As his spouse Anshar a half-sister chose, he made her first wife. By the name Kishar she was called. Thus was by this law the dynasty continued. In the reign of Anshar, the fields diminished their yields, fruits and grains lost their abundance. From circuit to circuit, nearing the sun, heat grew stronger. In the faraway abode, coolness was more biting. In Agade, the throne city, the king, those of great understanding assembled. Learned savants, those of great knowledge, to inquire were commanded. The land and the soil they examined, the lakes and the streams they put to the test. It has happened before, some gave an answer. Nibiru in the past, colder or warmer has grown. A destiny it is, in the circuit of Nibiru embedded. Others of no. So on a weird tip, you guys. Sorry, I just thought I heard something. I don't even know, man. What? It's like weird. Once in a while, dude. And I don't know. I think we just have a lot. Like, I'm like superstitious kind of. I don't know. I'm superstitious, so a little bit. So like once in a while, like when I'm getting into some really more edgy stuff, it's happened to me 3 times. It's happened to me 3 times. So Anunnaki, so even the Anunnaki were inbred. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. So once in a while, you guys, I'm not. This is just probably just. It could be me just being silly, right? So they say that the the occult, right? I don't like saying their name because TikTok, but the Illuma, right? Which is supposedly ran by the reptilians. So once they have a symbolism that they use, right? They have a particular animal that represents them, right? Anybody know what it is? Anybody know? Owl. Yeah. So, I swear to God, I'm probably just being stupid, right? But I swear to God, y'all, when I start posting like edgier content, right? Every single time I get to that point where I'm like pushing the content, on God, dude, this happened to me last year. And it was right after I posted shit about Illuminati on YouTube or TikTok. Okay? This owl would show up to my house. I'm not making this up. He would show up. And it would be like, I don't know, sometimes 2. The other night it was like 1, 2 o'clock. And and it's like clockwork. Like, he is always right above me. And he'll just start going, whoo, 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 whoo. You know what I'm saying? And he'll do it like a few times. The one time he showed up for 2 or 3 days in a row. And I swear to God, fam, a real owl. Yeah, absolute God, on God. Like I had a friend over the other night and we were both sitting here, like her and I were listening to it. Like, is that an owl? Yeah, it's an owl. And I mean, I got rabbits out here, right? No, hell no, I ain't shooting it. No way. But it's just weird, you know what I'm saying? Like when I talk about, mostly it's like when I talk about like reptilians, shit like I swear to God, like clockwork, I'll hear it over my head. Whoo, 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 whoo. The first time I did see it. Last night I did not. I ended up having a couple friends stop out, and I think they spooked it off. But the first time, that thing scared the living shit out of me, dude. Living shit out of me. I walked out my back door, my back slide door, and I'm walking out, and I got this big ass willow right to my left as I'm heading south, so it's actually on the east side of the yard, whatever. But it's right to my left. And dude, I swear to God, it was like I heard something. It was before I jumped and before I was spooked, I heard something, right? And what it was the repercussion from it getting ready to take off. Woof! And I could hear this like woof, and I was like, what the hell? And then I heard the crashing of the owl. And he crashed out of the willow, and I was like, whoa, what the? And I swear to God, this was the first time I'd ever showed up to my crib, right? I watched it, and it's almost like it was flaunting itself. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like it was wanting me to see it. Like it was wanting me to know that it was there. It flew straight out into my back field, which is like probably 80 to 100 acre field. And it's open. He flew straight out for a little ways, and then all of a sudden he took a dive to the right. and I could have open field for miles beyond me. I stood there and I could see him and I could watch him fly off for miles. And then right after that, I was walking through my yard and I found a rabbit with just its head gone. On God. It literally just ate the head. Is that weird? Is that not weird? It literally just ate the head. Like, I was like, what? I've never heard of that. Why the hell would they? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? I found a headless rabbit, like, in my yard. I'm like, woo. No, owls are cool, though, bro. I like Texas Militia. They just said, I have 2 owls. But yeah, no, that's cool. Owls are cool, I guarantee. But no, like, yeah, on God, Texas Militia, they are watching. And that's them letting me know it. Bet. That's what I thought. I could just be, satisfying my fantastical urge, or my fantastical need to want to think things are crazy and cool. But supposedly, what'd you say, bro? And burn it. Yeah, owls are amazing. They're cool as hell, dude. They really are. Just staring. Ah, that's cool. This guy said, owls always watching me here. I come outside and they're just chilling. Burn them if they are watching. For real? How do I burn what? And burn it. He said, burn it. No. Okay. Oh, he said, I have 2 owls too. No, okay, now outside. He doesn't own them. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I don't know why I thought you'd own them. That was kind of stupid. Blonde moment. Sorry. They are watching. No, outside watching me. You said, and burn it. I didn't. He went Ozzy on the rabbit. Yeah, that's funny. Might have interrupted its meal. No, I'm not, So, of course, people are saying it's paranoia, whatever. You know what, dude? I got a message from somebody the other day who basically they told me and they basically my belief, they reinforced it in the fact that of what I share in the somewhat risk it is involved with it. Nobody knows until, like, you got a bunch of people watching you. Like I worry sometimes. Like, that reptilian Book of Secrets was definitely edgy. Whether it be true or not. I mean, yeah, thank you. I'm being careful. Thank you. Like, I don't play, dude. Like, you guys, there was this dude, right, who had this channel on the tube. And he would share, he would skim, or he would, like, comb NASA's just released files. Declassified. Thank you, Lori. How you doing, girl? Hopefully your friend's doing all right. I hope so. That's what I like to think, no matter what. Like, my thought process on it is, if I'm sharing this inherent like content, this inherent somewhat, I don't want to call it like absolute truth, but like, and sharing basically what I feel is, like, if I'm sharing love and light, right? If I'm sharing to be good, right? To be decent, to treat people decent. If I'm sharing stuff like that, and I'm on the right side of the spectrum, when, say, an evil entity or they send a watcher, I'm hoping that as that watcher sits there, there's another one across my yard, or, you know, just kitty corner, a good one, watching him watch me, right? That's what I like to think. It's kind of like the movies, you know, like good guy, bad guy, good guy being watched. You know what I'm saying? I just like to think that, because I can't believe that only the evil wins. I can't. You know what I mean? If that's the case, then what am I doing here? If that's the case, then what am I doing? You know, at the end of the day. So, so yeah, rock on, right? I mean, trying to spread the good word. Well, oh, I bet you. Hold up. God, tablets are the freaking slipperiest thing I've ever. Okay. You said go back and read my first chat. The fourth kind. The fourth kind. The fourth kind. The fourth kind. I know, I swear I've seen that. What are the Watchers? Yeah, I've been reading the book. I just took a quick break. Just to break up the monotony of the book, because I don't want it to get boring. You know what I mean, for you guys? I swear I've read The Fourth Kind, or I've seen The Fourth Kind. Why can't I remember that? Hold on. I watch a lot, dude. I watch a lot of movies. I used to. I haven't watched as many as I used to, though. I used to love movies. Puppers, what's going on? You alright, buddy? I want to see if I remember this movie, The Fourth Kind. Everybody tells me I should watch Eternals. I'm kind of eager to watch that. You know, I don't think I have seen The Fourth Kind, yo. When did that come out? I'm definitely going to have to watch it. Alien Abduction, Fourth Kind. I'm reading the Book of Enki. I'll definitely watch it. Yeah, Eternals should be good. Absolutely terrifying. The Kids from Brazil, no. I'll check it out, you guys. I'm getting a lot of good reviews on The Fourth Kind. Read my first chat, all you need. I'll check it out. You cut that shit off halfway, Jamario? Haha. Interesting. What do you mean, the Abyssal Chaos? What do you mean you give up? I will light the candle for sure, girl. Crap movie. I don't... Scroll back to my previous message. You've got to research the old world architecture, considering none of our ancestors could build such structures in the 19th century. Bro, the Abyssal Chaos, do me a solid, bro. If you already know where the source is, because a lot of times I don't have the ability, you know, I'm pretty good at finding sources, and I probably could find it. But nevertheless, it's a lot easier if I get sent the source from what they want me to talk about, or you guys want me to talk about. So send me the source to nightgod87 It's the year I was born. Night God 87 at Proton Mail. Proton Mail? I was wondering about that. Tartaria and the Great Mud Flood. Probably Tartaria. And it's funny because I watched a cool ass 1 minute video on that the other day. 87's kids stand up. Bubbler's calling me, he said. Yeah, Proton Mail is the shit. It's absolutely secure. I urge everybody here to have a Proton Mail. I really do. It's very good. Oh, sorry. Let me get these comments back going. Dude. Michelle Gibson. Yeah, dude. COVID's getting bad, guys. I know. It's scary. You may even be asked to stop, but don't. I hope not. Old school G. Mahabharat. I'll check it out. The Hindu gods. You guys, I mean, here's my take on all of that. All the religions are talking about the same thing, and yes, they all have connections to the old gods and the old ways. Tori, she's like, where do you nuts find these movies? Weird that my iPhone continues to die even though I got it plugged in. Where am I plugged in at on that? Yeah. I'm like in my wall charger. That's weird. Let me try this one, I guess. Here, let me back you out. Yeah. Hold up. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Yeah, it's like weird. My iPhone seems to die. Okay. Text. What up, dude? See. For real, bro? Pied Piper. Yes, spirits. They can appear to you any form they choose. Omicron is an anagram of moronic. Omicron. B is an anagram of no crimbo. I love you, man. I'm absolutely not logging off, but if I drift off, just know that I'm here listening. Thank you, Casey Young. You're awesome. I know. Sorry, guys. I go late. I'm a night owl, I guess. I like to stay up till at least a couple hours. The ancient giants were offspring of the angels mating with humans. That's why God forbid angels from interaction. Exactly. Do you think we are living in Area 51? No. So, the 10 lost tribes, interesting. 10 lost tribes. And you said to look up. Yeah, if you guys could send me the links to any of these stories, guys, feel free to. If you guys have good stories and you know where they can find them easier, it just makes it a lot easier for me. Because sometimes when I have to go look them up, it's like, holy crap. Craig Bass. It's going bad because of the Maxwell trial. Don't be fooled. Have you read the book that talks about the 2,000 year before God created Earth? I think that's what is that what I'm reading right now? I don't know. Night God 87. Yep. The Fourth Kind is a good movie. And scared the hell out of me when I was younger. Can the Watchers appear in dreams as slender hooded figures with glowing white eyes? What? Slender hooded figures. What color is the hood? 33rd parallel. Why giants? Why the obsession with giants? Honestly, it's not like I'm obsessed with giants. Mostly, it's that people are so fascinated by them. it's easy. It's fascinating, obviously. Whoever thought that they could be real? Wild. But also, it is content that sells. And it sells hella. People love giants. It's just a no-brainer to talk about that at that point, you know? And I love it too, so. And I absolutely believe it. I was going to tell you guys earlier that I found on Antarctica. I found my lady friend who was here yesterday, she saw it too. She actually spotted it first. I found a face on Antarctica, right? And I shit you not, I looked down and you could see 2 legs and an arm. And you guys, it was laying over entire mountain ranges. Swear to God. And you could see it. It's plain as day. It's blatant to me. I saw it blatant. You could see it. Face, leg, arm. And he was legs and arms. And he was just laying there. Deader than a doornail. Something bad happened on Antarctica. Like, that was definitely the home base for some sort of evil. And they got smoked out. Smoked. Whoever is the great weapon wielder, the weapon of terror wielder, I imagine, maybe, they do some work. Or the good factions, whatever. What do you think they look like, Hedgehog? Golgotha. Golgotha looks like a skull. Cool, I'll have to check it out. You're that's pretty cool. You're a Google Earther, huh? Not very many ladies into my content. But there are. The hoods were black or a deep dark blue. Been a while since I had that dream. Huh. It could. I don't know if it's necessarily. Yeah, no, I have a dog. Yep. Sure do. And a cat, actually. And a cat. So I wouldn't go and just say that they're necessarily evil, or the Watchers for that matter. The white eyes kind of says something. But maybe your ancestral blood is a little more ET. And maybe they're just contacting you because they think that you can, or you are a seer of higher things or something. You know what I mean? I've read and heard a lot of accounts of alien abductions and stuff like that from people. And a lot of times they have like somewhat, not proof or evidence, but like, that was weird. Did you guys see that? It's like it disconnected and reconnected. That was weird. Proof or evidence that they think that they had ancestral blood that's divine. Like, right? Groovers. David Lambert, my lady digs it. You gotta keep her. I think we're all different birds here, right? You gotta be. I got the sweetest email the other day from this girl, like, it was like, I responded, of course, but she was like, I would love you to hear my content, or like hear some of my accounts and what I've researched. She's like, I've always kind of been a loner, and I've been considered weird my whole life because I've always felt and known that there's this higher world out there. And she's like, I never have anybody to talk to about this stuff. And first of all, she's like, I hope this is Night God 333. I hope I got the email right. If I didn't, just disregard it. But then she's like saying how she doesn't have any friends and stuff, and like has a hard time socializing because it's once you're woke, right? Like like, once you know the truth, right? I understand what she's saying. Sometimes it is hard to socialize once you know the truth. Because you know why? Once you know what's going on and what's really happening in the world, what your mother's dog ate for lunch yesterday, you don't give a flying shit about. You know what I'm saying? Like, the little stuff is just that. Like, I don't care about your first world problems. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you know the truth, like, you care about the ones you love, and you care about your friends, and you care about your people. But, and it's not like the things in their life are trivial. I'm not trying to say that. But they don't seem as important. It does. The truth sets you apart. And once you know it, you know, and you look around and you're like, man, these motherfuckers are asleep. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because they said and they say that Russia's Alien Book of Secrets, that our humanity, our species, is very young, and that we've had the chance to thrive and excel technologically and stuff because of gifts given to us by the higher beings, and that we excelled fast, and we're not given as long as normal in history to develop, to figure things out, to realize the reality of everything going on. So, that being said, and there's a lot of people out there who, especially I noticed, older generations, right, that grew up back in the day, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. It scares them. They don't want to think their life, and it doesn't mean it. Your life doesn't, just because it's big time, like our truth is much bigger than us, it doesn't mean our lives are insignificant. Because they matter. What we do affects the cosmos. Everything we do as humanity, it affects everybody in the cosmos, right? Too. Like when we set off nukes, it affects the cosmos. It affects other people, other beings throughout the galaxy. So what this life we're living, it matters, and what you do in this life matters for you at the soul level. That's why everything you do here, it affects you after life on Earth. You know, you want to look around, you want to look at yourself and reflect after this life, and you want to say, yeah, I did some things wrong. I learned, could have done better, always. Could have done worse, always. I think, not people like, obviously, like, you know, the Dahmers and the Bundys of the world, right? But could have done worse. Like, if you're not one of the, hopefully you're not, you know. But, but all seriously, just like, every move you make, calculate and think. Because everything's perpetual. You get in what you put out, or you get out what you put in. It's like the law that I keep wanting to say the law of attraction, but that's not it. But basically, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And that's the truth in life, too. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you do dirt, you'll get dirt later on. It'll happen. I've been watching it especially since I've grown in like the 30s are a weird time. Because now that I'm 30 and up, I'm seeing things a lot differently in my life. So, and I've watched people and I've seen how they are in life. And now, later in life, it comes back and it bites them at the most important times. When you're supposed to be, watching your grandchildren grow. You know what I mean? When you're supposed to be watching your children flourish. That's when it's going to be the time you pay for it all. And it's, like you say, it's physics, man. You put in what, or you get in out what you put in. So, yeah, that's all I'm trying to spread. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be too preachy in this live either. I apologize if I'm coming off as preachy, because I'm just young, you know what I mean? I have a lot of living to do too, and I've not been perfect by any means, you know? But there's always room to change, and you can affect, and just, you know, if I influence one person in this live to be kinder tomorrow at work, that's a success, right? You know what I mean? So, cool. Good. A bunch of giant bones found in many mounds. Yeah. What's that? Newton's third law. Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's what I'm hoping, bro. Yin and yang. There you go. I like that one too. That's very, very, it's pertinent to what we're talking about here. Yes. Yin and yang. Absolutely. Always. Ripple effect. And you guys, dude, think about how many people we got in this live. Let's think about it for a second. I got 230, and YouTube's been kicking TikTok's ass, which I love. Love you guys. Thanks for sticking around too. That's one thing I see about the YouTubers. YouTubers in my lives, I don't get the haters, the spammers, and they stick around the whole live. Like, truth be told, YouTube fans are to the core, bro. They're like not fans, but like followers, friends. You guys are all my friends, of course. But YouTubers, you guys are the OG truth right here. You know what I mean? You guys, my numbers haven't fluctuated at all, like this whole live. Like, I love that. That's like true following and like true trying to hear me. That's awesome. I love it. Yes, no, so, okay. Let's think about how many people are in this live. 233, right? 152 on TikTok. And if I had a third device, I'd be on my Facebook too, with another probably 150. So, you know, 600 people. Check it out. Say every one of you tries to spread the word I'm spreading right here and now. Not necessarily to a T, because some people don't want to hear it, but the love and light. If you all act on it, you'll affect somebody tomorrow. 600 could turn into, in perfect world, 1,200. 1,224. You know what I'm saying? Even if you get a fraction of that, as time goes on, and you get just forever in time for that seed that you planted. That's what I like to call them, seeds. You're planting seeds in the mind. Plant seeds of inherent goodness in the mind, then you'll plant seeds of inherent goodness in another's mind the next day, and the next day, and the next day. You know what I'm saying? So then you got potentially hundreds of thousands of people. And that's not including the people that tune into my live on my TikTok tomorrow. Right? You can, affect hundreds of thousands of people. Millions. It just takes one catalyst, bro. And not a lot of people want to talk about. I mean, there's some great content creators. There's great talk show hosts, you know, and all that preach this type of stuff. But like, man, let's go. You know what I mean? Spread the word. Spread the love. For real. Basically, how's my, crazy neighbor? Yes, thank you, Misty. Pay it forward. Plant seeds of inherent goodness. That's right. Uh-oh. Yeah, the mandates, man. God. That's not inherent goodness. I don't know what's going on with that. It's scary, guys. Scary, scary. What? When the buildings cried? What? That's interesting. He said, bro, you got to make videos of the knowledge that the video called When the Buildings Cried documentary has knowledge of the giants, Tartarian. Dude, I'm liking hearing about this mud flood. I'm definitely going to look into that. So, When the Buildings Cried. I'm glad you're tuning into my live there, Miss Brooklyn. Must be bored. No. When the Buildings Cried. Okay. Bam. And then you said it's about Giants Tartarian mud flood. Mud flood. So, yeah. Earlier, basically, dude, what we've been talking about, I've been reading the Book of Enki. And then I just started it. And I don't know why, but when I continuously read, I feel like it's just like kind of gets monotonous. So I like to interact with you guys throughout. And I'll probably just call it on that for tonight. I just like talking to you guys kind of right now. Like, one of the things I just love interacting with you guys. I love interacting with the comments. I think people really appreciate it when creators do that. Interact with the people. And they like to interact with me and, read their stuff. So I'm definitely the mud flood thing is very cool. I'm very eager to check that out. I've been doing a lot of research, dude, you guys, I want to read this book, right? So this book that, it talks about, and supposedly it's a fantastical version or something, but it talks about how Alexander the Great encountered beings of, like, fantastic origin. Fairies, like, goblins. Like, it's a book all about Alexander the Great and battles with these, like, werewolves. You know what I mean? All that stuff. Very intriguing, very interesting to talk about and read. So, why I believe that sometimes, like, even though it sounds like fantasy, it's not. For one, somebody has been sending me pictures of werewolves attacking and like hunting people from, like, archives that go way back. So werewolves, like Wolfman. This lady from Romania, it messages me on my Proton Mail. This lady from Romania. She tells me that the real lore and the real truth of Romania is not even close to what they say. Basically, that there are fantastical fairies and beings and all kinds roaming the woods in Romania. She said still to this day. Sprites, stuff like that. Still roaming the woods to this day in Romania. So, when I read something like that, Alexander the Great and his battles and all this stuff, with all these epic beings, I'm going, could it be true? Why did they write it? You know what I mean? Very interesting to think about. Okay? So, I'm going to check that out too. But basically the Gog and Magog, that's got me really intrigued too. I do believe that the Great Wall of China was in fact built for an adversary like giants. Okay? Like giants. That was bound to attack them. Yeah, most people can't see them. Okay, bro, when the buildings cried. Buildings are the components of the circuit board. Buildings make energy frequencies. Interesting. Not necessarily, bro. They're not necessarily with climate. Yeah, I know, right? You've got to be a certain frequency to see them. I believe that. Yeah, I agree. I believe a big part of it is if you just believe them. So, dragons, right? Dragons, yes, dragons. A part of me wonders, not necessarily maybe though, but a part of me wonders if, I don't know, the ancient battle that took place with Tiamat and all that, it kind of, I don't know why, but as I was reading it, dragons resonated in my head. Mega Titans. Oh, Bill Cooper's good. Anunnaki final warning to Earth and their return in 2022. Final warning to Earth. Well, Gog and Magog, they say there's lore that they could have been giants. Ajuz and Majuz. Yep. Absolutely. Huh, interesting. I don't know. What do you mean? I know, right? Create a book list for us. I know. And it sucks because, like, I wish I could read whole books, but it's like, if I want to create content, like, I have to cover so much different stuff before I can, like, sit down and read an entirety of a book. Why is Puerto Rico called Puerto Rico? Alright, I got you. Where are you from, Miss Tori? Are you around here? Check out East Fork, Lake, Ohio. East Fork Lake, Ohio. There's supposed to be giants buried there. It's in my town. What? Cool. East Fork Lake. Nice. NC, baby. Let's go. That P. Pablo. Starts in North Carolina. Alright, check out East Fork Lake, Ohio. You know that's that old school generational shit right there, that P. Pablo. East Fork, Ohio. Somebody was telling me too about the Three Lakes. Three Lakes area. The lore of the Three Lakes. Ha. How do we get them to stop putting fluoride in the water? Well, truly, dude, if you just try to meditate and, like, just be good and decent, and sooner or later that stuff won't even have no effect. The Labyrinth on a Mediterranean island. What you should read about, you should also look up how they found the labyrinth on a Mediterranean island that relates to Poseidon, the Minotaur, and the maze. Maverick Mafketol. You guys send me the sources on my Night Guide 87 at Proton. If you guys know, if you have a source that you know. You said what now? Maya Bay in Thailand. Dre. Hey, Dre. By the way. Yeah. You're Dre. You're right. My boy there. I'm going to read the stories that I'm still going to do, the Terra Papers and that other book as well. How you said it related to the Third World War. And did you guys see that? The video I posted when you Googled Third World War. Now, it was on a fandom website, but still, there's something to be said about the story that it was created. And that Yeah, I'm going to read that and check it out. You're Mu Aztec. Interesting. Mu Aztec. For real? Mu Aztec. What? Some guy getting all into it, saying Indians killed them and buried them there? I don't know. You guys should be reading my or getting my notifications. Make sure you hit that bell. Night, Lori. Probably missed you. Now, Rick Ruker, yes, I just said there's a book, right? He says, I'm new here, just tune in. Did you just say that Alexander the Great fought werewolves and fairies? No, bro, I'm not saying that for fact. No, there's a book out there that states that Alexander the Great, like, there's just basically a book out there that has a plethora of stories. It is fiction, okay? Yes, fiction. That he fought all these fantastical beasts on his endeavors. And I'd like to read it because I believe there could be some truth in it. Yeah, I believe Jesus was a hollow earth being. He was of divine blood as well. Children of the Matrix. Interesting. Puerto Rico's rich port. What? I'm talking about biblical stuff? What are you talking about? I didn't think I was. The Gospel of the Holy 12. Interesting. I wish I could get all this information and just, like, upload it, right? But that would defeat the purpose of me having a channel at all. I do want to finish the Lumerian Princess too, eventually. I do. What's that, Mickey Thompson? Which one you thinking, buddy? Which one you thinking? That's what I'm saying. Thanks, Tori. I appreciate that. Thank you. She said, ignore anyone who insists what you say has to be 100% accurate. It's in brainstorming where the discovery lies. Well said, girl. Yeah, Jesus was out. Excuse me. Jesus was here, and they put him here to show us what we could become. The possibilities of what could be for humanity. The ability to heal, for example. If you're love and light, though, as well, right? He preached love and light, too. Inherent goodness, loyalty, love. So, he was here to show us what we could be. Oh, I believe that. Cool, Maverick. I think during the Crusades and the Roman Empire conquests, they encountered and dispatched mythical beasts. Look up Kunlun. There are only 6,000 of my tribe left. Wow. That's sad, Jared. Jared Little Crow, he said. Yeah, he was half alien. Yeah, and, of Middle Earth, I believe. Inner Earth. I heard there was a picture in the archives of Jesus' wife, Mary, holding him after... And, dude, I heard another crazy one. But Jesus' wife, Mary, after he had been crucified or whatever, and she's holding him, pointing to the sky, like, please God, and Jesus is pointing to the ground. Inner Earth. Inner Earth. So, and also, on top of that, my other evidence to support this, with real evidence, well, okay, the Lost Diaries of Richard Byrd, okay, which I do believe is real evidence. They're legit. When he went to Inner Earth and he was confronted by this aged-looking man with soft features and an inherently good vibe, the entire conversation, the old man that he's seen, they called him the Master. The entire conversation, the old man kept calling him my son, my son, my son. Meaning, you know, he was our creator or had involved, like, my son. He didn't continuously call him my son the whole time if he wasn't our Father, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? Hey, thank you, Michael, for joining. Tanya Miller, thank you. What? The Gulf of Aden? 3 big motherships in the water? Video about the Shadow Men. Did I talk about them? Maybe? I must have. You know, I thought about that. Open group live video chats. I thought about that. I always wondered about Jesus' childhood. Interesting. Where'd you read that? What? Arby Rubin, or Artby. Have you heard about the giant gene, my boy? Teenage girl from somewhere in Europe that has the Guinness Book of World Record for the most pounds lifted. A teenage girl. That's why the military is trying to get the giant gene. So, to that note, as if I would have got to it today in the Book of Enki, this reminds you of something. Okay? They said that they called it the net of a planet. The net. What is that grabs things? The net. But it actually means gravity. They said that the gravity on Nibiru is, I wanted to say it was like, they said like 10 times that of the gravity on Earth. Now, what situation is that similar? Superman, right? The gravity on his home planet was much greater. So when he got here, what could he do? He could leap buildings. Leap for miles. Fly, even. So, the giant gene, I will say, and I do believe, would be an inherent gene that had some sort of, some way, shape, or form, somehow, direct line to the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki were, in fact, giants. And are, in fact, giants. So, if they got to Earth and the gravity was much stronger on Nibiru, when you got to Earth, you'd be able to pick up boulders 10-ton boulders and toss them from thousands of feet probably or something. But no, that's the truth. That's just like Superman. There's always truth in everything. Where did Superman come from? He come from another planet. I don't remember that. I don't know. I'm not super close to that. Great stories, but anyway, he came from a planet that was like the gravity was greater and the conditions were different, the atmosphere, everything. Where Nibiru is the same thing. Atmosphere much thicker, gravity greater. So could Superman have been born off Nibiru? Who knows, probably. Krypton, thank you. Yes, Krypton. There's always somebody in my comments who knows the answer. You guys are the best. Krypton. So yeah, I believe that for sure, this giant gene you speak of. And had a red sun. Interesting. Yeah, heard that from Steve Quale. Nice. Steve Quale is good, bro. Or Quail. Why do I always do that? I just call him Quale. Like Wale. Quail. Yeah, no kidding. I've watched some of his stuff. That's where I got the Antarctica stories. Yeah, Captain Planet. Yes. Captain Planet and the Five Rings. I believe Captain Planet could be a real person or a real hero of old. Yeah, I like to think so. Exceptional meeting of minds for sure. I love it. See, that's where I haven't found anything yet. The Gigi in the Book of Enki. I haven't figured out who the Gigi are yet. I hope it gets to that. Alberino and Quale. I'm not sure who that is, but it's probably somebody funny. I wouldn't call them demons. Yeah, go ahead and send me a picture there, Zach. For sure. Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? I imagine. What? Just installed night vision in the old city of Khyber that see many battles in the past. And our cameras started capturing white phantoms. The camera system thinks are real. People. Any ideas? Old city of Khyber. Cool. Basically, probably just people that passed away and their souls are there still fighting the battles. Or sometimes I wonder if ghosts are just not a entity that are here in another time, in another realm. Well, according to the Book of Enki, the Earth is actually born of planet Tiamat. And that Nibiru was actually a superhero or a hero of old. He was the only one that could beat Tiamat. Tiamat had 11 children, which are the 11 planets, or 12. Operation High Jump's awesome. Quale. That's why she laughed. She was teasing me. Cute. Le Mans. What? Groove Factor? Bro, you gotta send me something on that if you have it. If you can find it, bro. If you can find it. He said the story. There was a. Oh, dude, yeah. You're talking about Operation High Jump. I thought you were meaning more recent times. No, yeah, absolutely, dude. Thank you, Tanya Miller. Appreciate you. Interdimensional space beings. There you go. But I don't think they're just demons, though. Some of them are good. Nice, I believe that. Absolutely. So, in the Russian Book of Alien Secrets, they stated that planet Earth only has about 1% of what extraterrestrial factions want as far as minerals, resources, etc. But why Earth is so volatile and why extraterrestrial factions want Earth is because of its place in the solar system, because of its location, simply. And I'm imagining that's because it's a hub, a midway point. Oh yeah, I got a video on that, Chris Farrar. It's actually doing really well. Chris Farrar. Chris Farrar. You didn't go to... Why do I... You didn't go to Albion, did you? What's up? Stumbled on this channel from shorts. Hey, cool, man. Justin Turner, what's up? This guy. He's... you clowning, man. That's cold, bro. That's cold. Fingerprints of the gods. He said, I'm going to say it just because it's funny. And it's not true. But he said they want Earth because Earth girls are easy. That's cold, bro. That's cold. Not true. Not true. Check out Fingerprints of the God by Graham Hancock. Fingerprints of the Gods. Graham Hancock. I've heard a lot about Graham Hancock. A lot of people have mentioned him. Thank you, D. Felton. Yeah, Gold City of Kaiba, definitely. Earth is a truck stop for sure. Chronovisor. What got me to check out, or you to check out my channel? Pyramid in Wisconsin. There's actually a pyramid. Yeah, good night, Tanya. In Lake Michigan too. What if we're purposely heating the globe so they can get to the advanced tech in Antarctica? Interesting. But why do they fight global warming so much then, supposedly? Yeah, exactly, Ethan. Yep, I believe that. I'll check out the Dog Band too. They're not good. They're not good super soldiers, I don't think. Yes, they do. All movies in the past have, yes, made. They've been made based off their truths. Yep, the hives of the giants waking up all over the world. I believe that too. Diamonds, he says. I do have some stuff on Dogman. I have some, actually, there's some great footage from a German army in World War II on Dogman. Actually, they killed a female Dogman. And it was real as the day is long. I don't give a crap what anybody says. Sorry, ladies, I shouldn't have said that. You all are so beautiful. And not that. So Shambhala is actually the whole of inner earth. Shambhala was created before Agartha. Shambhala was created over 100,000 years ago when the Hyperboreans were inhabiting Earth, and they called it the Earth's mantle. But I believe it wasn't the actual mantle or crust of the Earth, it was actually the atmosphere. It thinned and allowed radiation in from the sun that they weren't used to. So it was killing them. They had to go into inner Earth and establish the colony to get out of the sun. That ended up being Shambhala the Lesser. Agartha came later when the Lemurians and Atlanteans went to war, but then were allowed in after the war because they had realized the futility of their war. And they created Agartha. The capital of Agartha is Telos. One of them. Pretty sure. Telos is the capital of Agartha. What? Bouillon? Interesting. Oh yeah. The World War II and that, they were being ran by ancient alien factions of evil. Thank you. Cool. Blow it up for me, man. Blow this place, or blow this channel up. Yeah, I think so. She said, I'm low-key feeling if every one of us in this chat put all the tidbits we have together, we'd have hella figured it out. Geneticists mapped human DNA and chimpanzee DNA. The only difference is it looked like someone plucked out a single strand from the sequence, and you get humans. You know, for the longest time, I was against... Well, I'm against that we evolved from monkeys. Okay. Because we, in fact, did not. There was alien intervention. What we are is... all they did was they took... And obviously Enki was part of this. They took a strand of Anunnaki DNA, and at the time, when they were inhabiting Earth, they had watched monkeys grow and become monkeys or whatever they were before, they say, from a primordial soup. I used to not believe in that either, but I'm kind of leaning more towards like slightly starting to believe that. They evolved into four-legged monkeys, and then to have slaves to harvest gold, the Anunnaki took the apes, crossed it with a strand of their DNA, and you got humans. We began walking on two legs. They said that we were very Neanderthalic and actually weren't much smarter than the monkeys at first, but our capacity to learn was much greater. So we were able to instantly start learning to walk on 2 feet instead of all 4, and then, fire, tools of hunting, sticks, sharpening, walking sticks, like basically started using sticks and stones and all that, and then just kept evolving from there. A lot of the seeds of our evolution were planted, and especially of our intelligence. Yeah, I'm RH negative, I'm pretty sure. Cool, thank you, Heather Wilson. Awesome. Yeah, we are Chimera. Dude, well put. Well put. That's awesome. I never thought of it like that. We are Chimera. F&A we are. Well put. That's cool. I've never thought of it like that. We are absolutely Chimera. It would be cool. cells levels mixed. Oh, man. Um, 333, like the three archangels, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, good vibes, love, light, mind, body, soul. Yeah, I want to definitely want to look into more Tartaria too. Shambhala is the land of ascended masters. Yeah, dude, the trees. Oh my God, it's crazy. They were huge. You're welcome, Tanya. Okay, I'm curious, Tanya. Go ahead and yeah, I know this. I know about the Ascended Masters. I just thought that was still under Earth too. They say it's under the Gobi Plateau. If I'm correct, the Gobi Plateau is where Shambhala Lesser is located. I know who cut the trees. I know, right? Like Devil's Peak or whatever. That looks like a cut tree for sure. And like I said before, they had, like in ancient Old Norse mythology, they had this tree called Yggdrasil. YGG Drasil. Drasil. And this tree ascended to the heavens. And it contained like 10 different areas or 10 different circuits is what they keep calling them in the Book of Enki. Circuits. Or like galaxies maybe, if you will. But it supposedly had its roots were so vast they touched the entirety of the land on Earth, and they span the entirety of the Earth. That Dante or the Devil's Peak, that looks like it could have been that tree. Like it's huge, but yeah, something cut it off. I'm not sure exactly who. Or Devil's Tower. There you go. Thank you for that. Devil's Tower. I'm not sure who cut them though. What's good, Colt Hill? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, I've got messages from you on Facebook. Yeah, I don't have it. Well, here's the deal on that, though, Misty. The rhesus factor, have you ever looked at the rhesus monkey? The rhesus monkey? It's just little. It's just little, right? So, I don't know. To me, I don't know. That's a tough one. Maybe some of us are of reptilian born. I don't know. You're right though. Like, but the rhesus monkey is the only one that has the rhesus gene. I think, pretty sure. So I don't know if that for some reason, I don't know why, but just because that monkey has it, it just doesn't sit right. I don't know. There's something weird about that, though. I agree. There's something there. I agree. It's hard to tell for sure. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. That's O positive blood. Yeah. That's the only monkey, though, right? I don't think I've seen any other monkeys that isolated the rhesus factor. I could be wrong. I know, something's just... Oh, cool. Thank you for that message. Yeah, right. No, right. Rh negative doesn't have the rhesus gene. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. Just because that one rhesus monkey has it doesn't mean necessarily for sure that, yeah, we evolved from monkeys. Absolutely. I know, to me, based on the Anunnaki and that, we did. But to me, that means that the Rh negatives still could have evolved from monkeys. Just because that 85% of the population shares the rhesus gene with this little monkey doesn't mean that they absolutely did and we absolutely didn't, to me. So, at the end of the day, regular apes don't have this rhesus gene. If they don't have it, then, and we don't have it, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. She says, Rachel Young. I've seen you message me on Facebook too, Rachel. Humans are a mixture of different ETs and animals. We're chimera. There you go. The mitochondrial DNA. It's like the protein that goes along with your immune system and all that stuff. It's been a while since I've done research on it. I did videos on it. That stuff's like tough for me. I was never the best at science, to be honest. Like the rhesus protein and how it attaches to the cell. And, like Rh negative moms. If a mom's Rh negative and the dad's Rh positive, when they have kids, if the kid ends up Rh positive and the mother is Rh negative, the mother will attack that child and it will kill it. They have to get a shot for it to convince its body it's actually Rh positive. When in fact, it's not. But the shot convinces its body at the moment of pregnancy, throughout pregnancy, that... Nice, Tori. Biology degree. Good shit. Smart girl. That's not easy. I know for a fact that's not easy. But yeah, isn't that how it goes? The Rogam shot. There you go. So you are Rh negative. Whoa, bro, no, don't unsend that message, Jade DeRosiers, whatever the heck. Resend that, bro. I wanted to see that. She's a keeper, bro. I know, that's why I asked her where she was from earlier. I was gonna say we could like watch movies and read books, together, but North Carolina's a little too far, unfortunately. Sounds like we'd vibe. Yeah, no. She's like, I might be single. Alright, Groove Factor. We'll see ya. She says, I work from home, I can move. Guru 2022. Alright. So do I. We probably get sick of each other then, right? Guru 2022. Sometimes I gotta turn my fan down. All right, guys. Right? No kidding. Have you added me on Facebook? Add me on Facebook, Miss Tori. What are you saying, Diana Martin? Reese's. Must be here in the train. Check me out on Facebook if you're on TikTok. No, not to be confused with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Although I love them. They're amazing. See, I haven't really checked my blood yet. I have probably throughout, but I know my mom's O negative. And I'm pretty sure, though, that she had to get the shot. But mom being O negative, which is weird because O negative, they can give blood to everybody, but they cannot receive blood from everybody. It's raining hardcore in northern Nevada. No kidding. Check out my Facebook. Hell yeah, I didn't know you guys didn't have. Check out my Facebook. I have a Night God 33 page on Facebook. Also, I have a check out my Night God 33 page, and then I have a Night Owls page. If it'll invite you. If you add my Night God 333 page, it will invite you. I thought you were going to bed, Tanya Miller. You're still up. Sorry, I got it. Yeah, it's getting late, isn't it? Sorry, guys. Okay, so add my Night God 33 page, and it'll send you an invite to my Night Owls page. It's a group that allows you to post on a group wall. It allows you to post on a group wall. I think I have to prove them, but yeah, I do. But I like to see ideas. You know what I'm saying? Post ideas, post content ideas, debate, whatever you want. It gets to a lot of people. Right now, the group only has like 2,500 people, but 3,000. But I have almost 100,000 followers on Facebook now. So yeah, check it out. And then check out and add my other page too, my Night Owls. Become part of that. And then you can post on you can post. All the channels like mine have disappeared. I hate hearing that. At Night God 333 is the handle. That's why I try to keep within the lines, dude. Know what I mean? I don't talk about COVID. I don't talk about the vaccine. I don't talk politics. My YouTube channel is at Night God 333 as well. Yeah, I have a Facebook group. I was just saying. Yeah, check them out. Check them out. Oh, I was going to talk about that. Do you know what Christ's blood type is? That's what I was gonna say. The guy who speared Christ when he finally to make sure he passed or whatever. Did you guys ever hear the story that he got the blood of Christ in his eyes, and before that he had an eye ailment, and that healed his eyes instantly, and at that moment he dropped to his knees and proclaimed Lord Jesus Christ as Savior. I never heard that story. Copper kills the giants. Yeah, no kidding. Some say yes, I've heard that. Right? I can believe that. Some giants are good, some are bad. The Baghdad battery, that thing is cool, isn't it? Oh, did you guys see, I wanted to talk about this too. Did you guys see my video on the real quick, because I'm probably going to call it here soon. I don't like to go much more than 3 hours. But did you guys see my video, on the mural with the giant carrying 2 elephants on his shoulders? That was crazy. Found in Nubia. Which is where it's like the backyard of Sudan, Meroe, Kingdom of Kush. Can you believe that shit? You know how many, like, nobody wanted to admit it. Like, nobody was like, they were like still trying to deny it. So one dude was like, well, those were probably they were probably the dwarf elephants that only weigh 2,000 pounds. That only weigh 2,000 pounds? He's still a fucking giant if he's carrying them things. Come on, man. You know what I mean? You trying to sit here and debunk this photo? There's nothing to debunk. That giant was carrying 2 elephants. Dwarf or not. He's a beast. You know? Pygmy. There you go. The pygmy elephants. That are still whatever the hell they call them. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I swear he said they were only like, I don't know how much giants weigh. They are giants. Elephants gotta weigh 3,000 or 4,000 pounds, I'd imagine. I'm not exactly sure. Probably more than that. 5,000? Some teacup elephants. Right. Yeah, I mean, babies are freaking, they're huge. Like, this guy's got it on he's got elephants strung up on probably a tree, right? Probably a tree to hold these elephants. Bro, that giant, people were like, oh, yeah, he was probably 20, 30 feet. Bro, come on. He had to have been 50 or 60 or 70 feet to be carrying full-grown ass elephants. 2 of them like that. You know what I mean? Bro, even if the pygmy elephants are only 3 foot tall, they weren't pygmy elephants, dude. Come on, man. They were not pygmy elephants. They weren't. I'm telling you that right now. How often do you see pygmy elephants? Where? Where are they? Tell me where pygmy elephants reside. It's on my page. I have a video on it. They found it in Nubia. In a pyramid. Yeah, Jack the Giant Slayer. It's a really good movie. I dig it. You have a pet pygmy elephant? Stop it. No. I wasn't coming at you like that, Randall Hill. I wasn't trying to make it seem like that. No, but I'm just telling you, like, the people that were commenting, You know what I mean? Like, just so hard. Just trying to debunk it so hard. Like, right off the rip. So in denial that that picture might be real. Like, come on, man. Get off that pygmy elephant bullcrap. You know what I mean? You're just scared of the truth. That's somebody that's just scared of the truth. Plain and simple. Oh, this guy said elephants are 2.5 tons, which means about 5,000 pounds. I want to see the pygmy elephants. Pygmy elephants. If that was the case, though, the pygmy elephant thing, check this out. African forest elephant, 6,000 to 13,000 pounds. Asian elephant, 8,800 pounds on average. African bush elephant, African bush elephant, 13,000 pounds, y'all. Try 5 tons. 5 tons. So whatever, if those are full-grown ass elephants, that motherfucker 100 feet tall. No less. 100 feet tall. The smallest elephant species. Guinness Book of World Records. 5,500 pounds. There are estimated to be more than 3,500 Bornean pygmy elephants in Borneo, Malaysia. So them things still weigh thousands, y'all. Thousands. Okay, let's see. There are estimated to be more than 35. The world's smallest elephant is a pygmy, 30% smaller than the Asian elephant. An adult male measures 1.7, 2.6 meters tall. Female, 1.5 in height, so 4 foot to 7. The average estimated weight, 2,500 kilograms, 5,500 pounds. 2.5 tons. So that thing is a beast, regardless of any of that. If it's real. And I don't see why they would even do the painting at all if they hadn't witnessed it. Why would they even do the painting at all if they hadn't witnessed this giant elephant carrying giant carrying. Sorry, it's getting late. I'm getting worn out here. Giant carrying 2 giant ass elephants. Bam. Hold on. Ooh, 12,000 year disaster Earth cycle makes sense. Yes, he did see a woolly mammoth. Yes, he did. Fake news like what, bro? Why waste your resources on fake news like what? Giant Tartarian buildings. The giants built them. Giant Tartarian buildings. The giants built them. Yeah, copper is a big one. Oh, yeah. Are you saying it's fake? Or are you not? You're saying, like, why would they fake it? I see you. I see you. Yeah, agreed, bro. I agree. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? Why would they paint that mural and put it in this pyramid if it was not real? Agreed. Yeah, supposedly 2022. Well, bro, how am I supposed to know? That was out of the Russian. You said an ancient alien faction or race will reveal themselves to the human race in 2022. If this doesn't happen, I'm going to lose confidence in you. Well, for one, bro, I didn't say that. It was in a book. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, no, Randall, they said that they're on average like the tallest, the females are the smallest pygmies at 4 foot to 7 foot. The males are 6 to 9 feet or something. Yeah, check it out, bro. Check out my last video, Amity Mortem, and check it out. It'll tell you that. Yeah, I know, right? I gotta get some rest too, guys. Thank you. Yeah, check my Facebook out. Thank you, Pied Piper. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, all of you, for coming out and hanging out with me in this live. Watch my content. Check it out. I got some new stuff coming. I might go back. I want to kind of touch on the Lemurians and maybe finish off some of that because they have some really cool stuff in them. Those documents that I found online. The Lemurian princess and her account of Agartha. So yeah, check me out. Love you guys. Love and light always. And stay positive. Don't forget, truth can be stranger than fiction. And keep on watching. Later, guys.